Hey, what's up, rock stars? It's Rox coming to you today with the review for Love and Marriage Huntsville, Season 4, Episode 6. So let's get to it, shall we? All right, you guys. So Melody hooks up with Kimmy and Stormy because she was like, I've been so busy and I have not had time to spend with my girls. So this is like girlfriend time. Okay, so Stormy and Kimmy sit down with Mel, and they are just talking about the last time that they got together, which was with Mel at her Christmas party. Remember when they was giving Tiffany a hard time? Both of y'all had her hemmed up over there on that couch. Stormy said, well, she and Tiffany actually went and had drinks, and they had a pretty good talk, so she thinks maybe they may be on the road to, being friends. The conversation that ended on a good note. So anyway, Kimmy was saying, yeah, she tries to give everybody a chance. You just got to get to know somebody. You can't just make a judgment right off the bat, okay? Just like she can't make a judgment off of the fact that Kiki was at Melody's party. Kiki being Letitia's cousin. She didn't really understand why she was there because she didn't think that Mel and Kiki were close like that. But maybe you can explain. She said that wasn't the time to ask, but now, she's asking, why was Kiki there? Well, me and Kiki, we have been talking on the phone for years now. And, when we talk on the phone, I don't care to talk about her cousin. It's more about like what's going on in life. Melody says that they've both been able to relate about their feelings about her cousin, about Letitia. But other than that, they don't really talk about Letitia like that. I was like, Mel, are you really friends like that with her? I mean, I guess if you say so. But it sure seemed strategic, didn't it? Wasn't Kiki on the show last season? Did her and Mel have much interaction? I don't know. But anyway, Kimmy is like me. If Mel says so, but she was like, I don't remember seeing Kiki at any of Mel's events in the past. Okay, if they've been such good friends over the years. But you know what? That is not Kimmy's business. She says she ain't getting in it. Her name is Bennett. She ain't in it. So then Mel tells him how she went and broke bread with Destiny. And I did not expose her like I could have because I had all of these text messages of me checking up on her. Mel was just like, yeah, she knows deep down inside what a damn good friend I was to her. And she sat up there and said that she hadn't talked to me and she didn't know what was going on. She basically had presented herself a certain way, so now she got to stick to it. That's why they can't seem to quite get over this bridge. Stormy asked her, did she think that she and Destiny will ever get back to the way that they were? And Melody was like, no, never. I think Melody is pretty much done with Destiny. Destiny gonna have to accept that. Well, on another note, Kimmy says that she is giving a housewarming for Jalen. And Mel said, who's all gonna be there? And she was like, well, the usual suspects, her homegirl, this person, that person. Of course, she's going to invite Marceau and Letitia because they're family. She doesn't have any reason not to invite Destiny, so she's inviting everybody. The only person that she is not inviting is Martell. What? You're not inviting Martell? Not the good guy. You said he was a good guy. You're not inviting the good guy? Nope. Kimmy is not inviting the good guy because Kimmy has fallen under the wrath of Martell a little bit, and Kimmy's a little irritated with the way that Martell handled himself at the reunion and saying the things that he had to say. So she's not. And also she's aware that Martell makes Melody, Mel already said, don't invite me to shit if Martell is going to be there. So she's made the choice that Martell will not be there. Now, she does feel like Martell is a good guy. She'll say that. She definitely will say that. But she just feels like Martell probably didn't got caught up. And she just can't invite him this time, So when she tells Mel all of that, she was just like, of course I would love to be there. So Melody is going to grace them with her presence. I guess Stormy's going to be there too. Stormy didn't have much else to say in that segment. Now, later on, we see Mel. She stops over to Tiffany's office. Tiffany said that she's been so super busy, but you know what? She's carved out a little bit of time so she can sit down and catch up with her girl. Hey, girl, what's been going on, Mel? Well, I've been busy, very, very busy. I got this skincare line that's coming out. I've been busy with that. And then, I have my 4 kids. So I've been busy loving up on them and everything. And Tiffany was just like, oh, yeah. She loves the kids. Tiffany loves the kids. As a matter of fact, she says that when her kid and Lewis's kid, they have, I guess, teenager preteen, somewhere in there. I don't even know how old these kids are, but they not babies. When they go visit their parent, and it's just Lewis and Tiffany at the house, she was just like, it's so super quiet. And she's starting to feel like maybe a new baby could fill that void, She's young. Didn't she tell us she was 34? I was just like, girl, I don't care. I mean, I guess she probably is 34. I mean, it's too easy for people to find out what her real age is. But I was just like shocked when she said she was 34 or 35. Girl, what you say? I could have sworn that her and Lewis was, closer to my age. But anyway, she says that, she is busy with work, though, and so she's not really sure how she's going to be able to fit the baby in with her schedule. And Mel's like, well, when I was working and I had my baby, I just brought him with me to the office. I brought a playpen and I put him in there. There's ways around it, especially when you have your own business. I don't know what Tiffany does, but I don't know. I guess maybe she can bring her baby to the office. I don't know. Anyway, Tiffany is telling her how after she had her kid, she bled a lot. And so she's a little concerned about that. The doctors told her that it could be hereditary. And so she's trying to find out, her roots. Okay, she did find her mother, her birth mother, a few years ago, and now she is on the mission to find her birth father. And Melody was like, say what? Really? Yep, she's going to Utah, and she's gonna go try to find her birth father. It was a state adoption, so she knows that the state should still have it on record. It shouldn't be that hard for her to do. I mean, I'm guessing it's just paperwork, legwork, things like that. But she is definitely going to go do it. Her and Lewis are going to go to Utah. But you know what? Mel has invited herself. When Tiffany tells her that she's a natural researcher, Mel was like, come here, girl, me too. And we both Scorpios too. So, we going to both go out there. Girl, I will go with you in a minute. When I was little, they used to say, look at that dusty girl detective. I mean, I am a researcher. I am down to go. Honey, Mel was excited. I said, look at you with your nosy ass. I don't even know if I still feel like Mel is friends with Tiffany like that. But honey, she was gung-ho, ready to go to Utah, invited herself and all of that. I was like, girl, now what you gonna tell your husband? Honey, Mel was like, one thing for sure, baby girl, is that it's gonna be boots on the ground and we gonna be there for however long it takes. Okay, so yeah, Mel is going. So now Tiffany has to tell Lewis. So you guys, Lewis tells us that she books this Airbnb. I was like, why did Airbnb look like my next door neighbor house? I was like, you could have just stayed at home. It wasn't like that house was, y'all, I'm not talking about the people house and all. I'm just saying, like, if you're going to have a romantical night, I couldn't understand why we was just in this little ranch house that was in somebody's subdivision some damn where. If she would have been in a romantic, hotel room overlooking something. Anyway, he pull up and park up in the front. He walk up to the front door. She opened the door. He was just like, oh, this is so nice. His wife is, got the Airbnb and they gonna have this night. She has the chef there and cook the food and they, got a little ambiance and shit in there. So he sits down and she tells him that this is their 6-month anniversary celebrating their marriage. Okay. And, so, she likes to do 6 months just to keep up on things, I suppose. So anyway, he was just like, so how's everything going? And she was just like, well, funny you should ask. I was talking to Mel about going to find my birth father in Utah, and Mel wants to go. And I was thinking, if it's okay with you, I'll just make this into a girls' trip. Well, I could see it right on Lewis's face as soon as she said that he looked hurt, And he was just like, oh, so is this why you set up this whole Airbnb thing, just to try to romance me out of this trip to Utah? And she was just like, no, Mel was so excited about it. And, Tiffany always has to do all the leg work. She always has to do all the hard work. And because Mel was so gung-ho, she can just kind of sit back and let Mel do all of that. Okay? And she didn't think Lewis was going to be the one to do that. Lewis was just like, yeah, but that poor Lewis, honey. Poor Lewis wants to go. Okay. Evidently, when she found her birth mother, he wasn't involved. And he didn't get to meet the birth mom. So now she's going to find the birth father. He wanted to be a part of it. I was just like, girl, this is going to be something. I could tell in his face This is going to be something we're going to hear about later. So he was trying to be understanding, though. He's like, I know there's times that we're going to do things without each other. You know, you're going to go with your friends. I'm going to do things with my friends and everything. But this thing in particular was important to him. So he kept on trying to tell her that he wanted to go. And she just sort of was just like, well, you know, Mel wants to go. So, you know, I was just like, yeah, you're going to hear about this later, honey. I'd been married long enough to know that the way his face looked, yeah, it's going to come up later. Anyway, then she starts talking to him about a possible baby. What do you think about growing the Whitlows? And then he looked at her like, bitch, is you crazy? These kids is almost grown and out the way. And when they get out the way, I'm going to have all my time back. And here you come talking about a new baby. So now I think that maybe Lewis is older than Tiffany. And so Lewis's mindset is like, no, I'm just about done. And now you want to have another baby. You work all the time. Like, how you going to even do this? And, you know, she's telling him basically what Mill told her. She can fit it into her schedule. She can make it work or whatever. She knows she can be a good mom. I mean, the first kid that she had, she was 19 when she got pregnant. She was 20. She was young, you know, probably ain't had no money. Now everything is like way better. You know, she can afford the baby. She's ready for the baby mentally. You know, she can do this. I was like, yeah, don't look like Lewis wants to do it though. Now jumping over to Martell, Destiny goes over to Martell's house, you know, just to see if she can pick his brain about her homegirl, Mel, considering they were together so much longer. He knows Mel best. So when she gets over there, he was just like, girl, where's your coat? It's cold outside. And she was just like, oh, I got this little sweater on, you know. So anyway, she gets on inside. And I was like, oh, this is the first time that I think we saw place. And definitely didn't get the money in that divorce. I was like, I mean, the shit wasn't fucked up, but it was just, you know, it was average. It wasn't like how Melody's place is. So, yeah, bless Martell's heart. He getting back on his feet. He gonna get there, I guess. But, yes, it's taking a little bit longer for him. Anyway, while Destiny is there, she notices a gift that she gave him. She was like, what's that plate? Like, I gave that to you and Mel. And he was just like, oh yeah, Mel told me, go on and take that. Your friend gave that to us. You can take that. It's a plate that says, it's like a marble plate. Like if you had like a charcuterie board or something and it says love on it. Destiny starts to tell Martell how Mel was telling her that, you know, she's dealing with his ops and being friends with the people that she not friends with, you know, and that I'm dealing with you and I shouldn't be your friend because, you know, the girl cold and all of this. And he was just like, you know that Mel is trying to turn everybody against me. And Destiny has been my friend way longer than she's been Melody's friend. I'm not even sure if she was ever Melody's friend. Martell's whole feeling is that Melody needs to not worry about who Martell is friends with and all of that, and she needs to move on with her life, which is true. Mel cannot go and pick and choose and tell people who they should and shouldn't be friends with because it just, you know, this is what happens in divorces. People still gonna be friends even though y'all not together no more. So Destiny was just like, you know, it's just really sad because, you know, we've been through the same things. We both went through a divorce. You know, we both had to kind of pick up and get our life back on track. And now I can't even pick up the phone and call my girl and, you know, talk to her. I was just like, Mel was trying to reach out. Destiny wasn't really trying to talk to her. I guess Destiny felt like she should have called her and not text her. But that's still kind of her reaching out and kind of putting the ball in your court. And how hard is it for you to pick the phone up and call Mel back? You know? So it's kind of hard to be on Destiny's side. Yes, you still didn't talk, but you know, so it's just sort of like she gonna keep on saying that they didn't speak. Destiny says that her friend circle is very small in Huntsville. I think where is she from? You guys, was it Chicago? Wherever she's from, or Detroit, one of them cities. But now that she's in Huntsville, she said her friend circle is very small, you know, and Mel was a part of that, big part of that friend circle. Now that Mel is gone, like, she don't really have many friends in Huntsville anymore. Girl, you better latch on to Kimmy and Letitia. Martell was just like, well, you know, Mel shouldn't be the way that she's being. So hopefully she's going to get over it and you guys can fix your friendship. No, Mel already said that friendship is null and void. Now, jumping over to Letitia, our favorite mother, our favorite reality show mother, Wanda. She comes on over there. You know, Wanda has got her freeze. pineapple, twist in place. I wanted to talk to Marceau. Okay, well, Marceau ain't here. Letitia was like, it's the weekends. Marceau is at the lounge on the weekends. You're going to have to go down to the lounge if you want to talk to him. And she was just like, oh, okay, well, I just wanted to show, I wanted to show Marceau, but since he's not here, she pulls out the paper. She's like, boom, it's the business license. And Letitia was just like, oh, this is so good. She's really serious about this food truck and she's really trying to get the business. And Letitia was just like, you can come and you can shadow Marceau, and shadow the people in the restaurant so that you can, get a feel for it, get an idea, because Miss Wanda is serious about this food truck. So is Marceau coming up off that money though? And Letitia was just like, yeah, I mean, when she wants something done, she gonna get it done. All right, so don't worry about that part. Even though Marceau was a little upset with you, when you brought up the apartment situation with Martell. But don't worry about Marceau. Like I said, Letitia gets what Letitia wants. I'm going to help prepare you to be in the restaurant industry because it's real hard industry to break into and be successful in. So Letitia's going to hold her mama's hand. And, Wanda was just, I love my daughter. My daughter is always here for me. I have the best daughter. If you had my daughter, you would throw your daughter out. Ha! That part right there. Anyways, Letitia get to telling her about the conversation that she had with Kimmy. Oh, child, as soon as Kimmy's name was raised, child, it got Wanda's hackles up. And she was like, no, don't worry about it. Me and Kimmy, we in a good place. We talked about what was said at the reunion. And, Letitia was just like, if that's how you feel, that's how you feel. But, we did have a conversation. We talked about it and the conversation went well. And, our relationship is getting better and it's happening naturally. Nobody is trying to force anything. We giving each other the space. But Kimmy told me that Kiki was at Mel's Christmas party and, I wasn't invited. Destiny wasn't invited, but Kiki was there. And Wanda was like, oh, the niece? Not my niece, the niece. And she was just like, yes. So... Wanda's just sitting over there like, oh my God, them eyes is getting bigger. She rolling her eyes. Girl, Kiki is a snake. She always been a snake. And I know that's your cousin. And Letitia was just like, well, I don't want to use the word jealousy, but people say that she's jealous because she think that she's supposed to live the way that I'm living. And Wanda was just like, my mama always told me, don't trust nobody that buys shoes that don't come in a box. Is that what your mama told you, what? She was just like, don't worry about the people that's on the street. You need to worry about the people that you sleep with. And Letitia was just like, yeah, keep your friends close and your enemies closer. Mm-hmm. Miss Wanda got in that confessional, was like, Kiki is very image of Letitia. She is image of Letitia's marriage. She's image of Letitia's relationship. She image of Letitia's well-beings. How she living. Okay, I was like, what the fuck is image? I rewound that shit 3 times. I was like, what is she saying? She's image. She image of her relationship. She image of her marriage. She image. I was like, please somebody on Twitter tell me what this woman is saying. And you guys was like, she's trying to say envious. I was like, oh my God. That word didn't even sound like the right word. But anyway. Wanda was like, Kiki should be more loyal to Letitia because they blood. And Tisha was like, Mama, don't even worry about it. Let them be happy. Let them be friends over there. Wanda was like, well, I will say that, when you told me that Kimmy, they came over there, they was talking to Kimmy. I was like, Kimmy, why Kimmy, why is Kimmy saying it? Why did Kimmy know? But, I'm glad that Kimmy came back and told Letitia what was what. Okay. Now that don't take her, that don't make her not be a snake, but she feel a little bit better about Kimmy. But one thing for sure, you bring a bone to Letitia, honey, you better be ready to eat it, because one thing you not gonna do is disrespect Miss Wanda's child. You got to go, Kiki. You got to go, because one thing, if you call Letitia's name, then you gonna call mine. And Letitia was like, oh Mom, please don't start that, girl. You already know how your mama is, honey. That Miss Wanda got on the first thing smoking and went over to Kiki's house. And Kiki was just like, oh, Wanda, I am so glad you here. I just wish I knew that you was coming. If I knew you was coming, I would have cleaned up around here. But come on in. I've been wanting to talk to you. Miss Wanda was just like, I want to talk to you too. Okay, so Kiki was just like, so you probably already know that I had a conversation with Letitia and it didn't go that well. So I wanted to have a conversation with you. Okay, and you already know, Wanda, no, that's why she there. So the word that I heard was that you was talking about my daughter. And that's that snake thing. That's that snake thing that I don't like. They messy. Them girls is messy. And Kiki was like telling us, Miss Wanda got all of the nerve in the world to call anybody messy. But if you talk about Letitia, Miss Wanda's coming. So Wanda was just like, if you the cousin and you telling Letitia's personal business, then that's wrong. Kiki was like, well, you know what? Letitia talked about my personal business to Mel, and that shit bothered her. Okay, so Letitia did it, so did she. Now Letitia know how it feels. Wanda was just like, but she was talking to her friend. And Kiki was just like, oh, so she can talk to her friend and tell my business, but I can't talk to my friend and tell her business. She was just like, first of all, that's not your friend. Hey, how long ago did this happen? How long ago was this? Oh, about 5 years ago. I can't be talking to you about nothing that happened 5, 6 years ago. I'm talking about what happened today. Wanda said that's stupid. She ain't talking about no shit that her daughter did 5, 6 years ago, even though if it's the same thing and it was done. But in the conversation, we got some family history here. And now I guess I'm understanding a little bit better. So it seems that Kiki was like, well, you know what some of the problem is that in the family, that I wasn't allowed to talk to you guys. And Miss Wanda was like, I know, because we lived in the projects and y'all had a house home and, you guys had everything. And she was just like, yeah, but that when I became a teenager, I reached out to you guys because she wanted to have a relationship with her cousin. And Miss Wanda was like, yes, and it's been chaotic ever since. Because the family has always pit Letitia and Kiki against each other. Oh, Kiki got a house, but she's renting. Oh, Letitia's buying her house. Oh, Kiki is about to buy a house too. They always put them against each other and they made them compete. And that's why her and Letitia ain't been able to get right. They whole lives, basically. And she was like, and that seeps into our relationship. Like, everybody always want to bring up the J word and tell me that I'm jealous of Letitia. And Wanda was just like, well, you shouldn't take it out on Letitia. That's not Letitia's problem. But Kiki was just like, yeah, Wanda, but you guys all drive the competition between the two of us. And I was just like, oh, okay, now it makes more sense. Now it's starting to make more sense. You guys know family dynamics like this, it's definitely real. And I think probably Mel might know that, might have an idea of that. And this is Mel's way of getting back at Letitia too. So we'll see. Mel was messy for bringing Kiki in, okay? But Mel definitely knew what she was doing. I don't think that Mel is good friends with Kiki or anything. I might think that Mel might try to keep Kiki close because she feels like she can use her for something. But friends and all that, I'm not buying it. What y'all think, though? All right, you guys, let me get off of here, get on back in the house, get this edited, and up to you. Make sure you rate, comment, and subscribe to the channel. I'm itsrox. The channel is itsrox. Everything else I do will be in the bottom bar. All right. So I hope that you have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day, and I plan on doing the same. Until next time, rock stars. Goodbye.